Right now, my son is a 23-hour-a-day lockup with an hour outside activity in a cage. No reading material, a little window maybe to look outside, a toilet, a sink, and a bed. That's 23 hours a day lockup.
They come in the morning, they take all your blankets at 6 o'clock in the morning. After that, you in that room all day is cold in just your boxers and your socks. All day until 10 o'clock at night.
I remember actually, what we do is just stand by the door and like look at nothing, look out the hallway because we couldn't see anything else. So that was like the most entertaining thing to do.
I seen a guy be in there for 18 months. You know, he don't care. He think he ain't gonna never get out of it, so he use the bathroom on the floor. He don't care.
There have been cases of young people on lockdown in the CYA for months and even years at a time. Young people being put on lockdown when they're victims of an assault inside and staying on lockdown for 16, 18 months.
Most states, most courts think about separate and solitary confinement as an emergency measure that you end within 72 hours. It is incomprehensible that we put young people in these places.
About a year and a half of lockdown out of 3 years. That's a lot of days. The loneliness. I think it's, of all the things, I think that might have really damaged him the most was being lonely.
Since he's been in protective custody, he's gotten jumped 4 times, and it's a lockup unit. Everybody's in their own room. The only way he can possibly get injured is because of staff neglect. My son's not allowed to call me because they took that privilege away. So I have to leave on a Sunday, drive, try to maintain myself as I drive 2 hours home, worrying if my son went back to his room and didn't get jumped on the way going back to his room. And I'll never know until I either get a letter from him or I have to wait until I come and see him the following Sunday. So I have to try to work and just live wondering what happened to him. And it's not right.
Kids were on their knees for hours. Sex between the staff and the wards at Ventura. Excessive force and Saturday night fights staged between the wards. A questionable use of Depakote, the drug, on the wards. The improper use of the 37mm gun at close range. And the failure to shower wards who had been maced.
When I went up to visit him, he was still in lockup, so I got to see him pretty pale, with a big gash on the side of his face and a black eye, and that's when I had found out that it was staff that had done it.
He would get hit, you know. They would hit him in his legs, something like that. They would bruise him. He would show it on his legs. And I would speak up then that they hit my child, and they would deny it, of course.
I've watched people come out to visit, and they're taking Polaroid pictures of their kids' bodies because they got marks and bruises on them, and it's not from other kids.
270 wards were maced by CYA staff in the course of just 1 month in 2003. That's 270 macings at one facility in 1 month.
They had me screaming, yelling, and they maced me while I wasn't continuing to fight anymore because I couldn't, because I was in restraints. But they continued to pepper spray me and twist me up to make me have more pain, give me more pain.
They tell them they're nothing. They won't amount to anything. You are trouble. You are a gangbanger, you know. You're an animal. You're a menace to society. And this is what we're going to do to you in the California Youth Authority.
Abuse is happening every day in one form or the other, whether it be slurs, whether it's inappropriate hugs, whether it's I won't let you use the phone unless you dance for me. I've heard it all.
In CYA, the sexual harassment is like it's like an everyday thing. I remember guards or the COs hitting on me or saying, hey, flash me, or when we do room checks in the nighttime, can you show this to me? And it happened a lot, especially when we would take showers. Some of the male guards would be watching a little bit too closely and making remarks about, your breast or your butt.
One of the CYA's statutory mandates is to provide education to its wards. The education experts' major finding is that the CYA is utterly failing to comply with these laws.
There was this one guy in the classroom, and he didn't know how to read. And the teacher was doing a reading project, and he asked the guy to read, and the dude was like, man, I don't know how to read. The teacher thought he was just playing, being a knucklehead, so the teacher just called it a group disturbance, and the guy didn't know how to read, and he kept saying this. The teacher called the security and had the dude locked up, removed from the classroom. He really didn't know how to read.
He requested over 10 times for school books and was denied every time. They won't allow him to go to the library. They say he's in protective custody. He's not allowed to go to school or any vocational classes because he's in protective custody.
They weren't getting education, so we complained about that because we were entitled to that under our lawsuit. And they started this process of giving education through the food slot in the door. They didn't even open the door to give kids these pathetic little lessons. So we complained about that, and as a result of that, their wonderful solution was to create metal cages in which the young people go to school in those units.